At 8:05 on Wednesday evening, Boro were 13 points behind Sheffield United, having played a game more. Fast forward the other 85 minutes of that game and the games from Saturday, the gap is now down to 4 and the automatic promotion race is on.
As the Uruguayan curls one in. Oh, Middlesbrough take the lead!
What is up, guys? Matthew here and welcome back to another episode of Project Boro. Today we are going to be discussing Boro's another win. What is it? A fifth straight win as we beat QPR 3-1 at the Riverside on Saturday afternoon. And this result, of course, came 2.5 hours, 2 hours after the kickoff of the early game, which was Millwall versus Sheffield United. The team Boro are, of course, chasing down for second position. And as I said, on Wednesday, we went behind to Sheffield United. It looked like it had gone, and we managed to claw it back to 7 points. But even then, big gap, game in hand, until 3 o'clock on Saturday. Sheffield United went to Millwall, lost 3-2 in a thriller, and opened the door for Boro to close the gap to 4 points. And that is exactly what we did. Now, in terms of a performance, it was very much a second half masterclass from Boro. The first half wasn't great. It was quite flat, to be honest. And I was actually really nervous about this one. Michael Carrick made a number of changes, 3 changes for this game. 3 changes that I didn't think were necessary, but he brought McNair in for Dale Fry, he brought Barlasser in for Johnny Howson, as well as Aaron Ramsey in for Marcus Forss. And I was quite relaxed before kickoff, even with the results going our way earlier in the day. A big open door for Boro to walk right through and close the gap. But as you know, Boro in the past, when they've been presented with opportunities, have more often than not slipped up and missed the open goal. So when I saw that we were tweaking and making a few changes, I was a little bit anxious, I'm not going to lie, and I thought Force has been integral in our performances and goal creations of late. Howson is so good at breaking up the play, as good as Barlasser is. You know, Howson is perfect at spotting danger, sniffing out danger, and stopping potential attacks for the other team. And then, of course, you're changing Dale Fry for Paddy McNair in the centre of defence, always a risk. So I was a bit nervous when I saw the team, and the first half wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It wasn't even average. It was good. It was okay, but we just weren't quite at it. We were very flat. We were misplacing passes, and it wasn't a great first half from Boro. And we went in 0-0. And it's times like this where you think this game could either go one way or the other. We could stay like this as we are, drop points, miss out on a huge opportunity. You know, even if we drew, we're gaining a point, but we're at home to a team who have been hopeless in the league for so very long. I think they'd won 1 in 16 or something up to this point. So you expect to win. So the second half was massive, and thankfully Boro came out a different team in the second half, and we were absolutely fantastic. A brace from Chuba Akpom. What more can be said about this guy? He is possessed. 19 goals for the season now. He's surpassed Patrick Bamford's 17 from the playoff season. I think it was it 14-15? I think it might have been 14-15, I think. And has now netted 19 league goals for Boro, including his one in the Cup. That's 20 for the season, and is pretty much on course to being the first Boro striker to hit 20 goals. Since Slaven in 1991, and it's been a meme almost for Boro and Boro fans since. Every year we've signed strikers, you know, Jordan Rhodes, David Nugent, Sombalonga, big money, and we've always said these are the guys who are going to finally be that 20-goal striker, and they've never got anywhere near. I think Britt might have gotten 14 in a season or something, but for Akpom, a player who's not even he wasn't even in our plans at the start of the season. There was talk of him leaving. I think his contract was running out. I can't remember, but we brought in other strikers, and it looked like Akpom very much was on the back burner. We were linked with Jürgen Strand-Larsen, among others. Akpom didn't even feature in pre-season, I don't think. So for him to rock up and score 19 league goals is absolutely ridiculous. And we finally got the breakthrough through him, and it was an incredible ball from Dan Barlaser, and that's what he has been brought in to provide. I mean, his deliveries, albeit from corners, our corners were utterly rubbish in this game. Every corner we floated on top of the keeper, and it was like catching practice for him. But from open play, Barlaser, fantastic ball, perfect cross to Akpom, who headed it into the bottom corner, perfect header, down into the corner, keeper stood no chance, and you can see how much it meant to him. The shirt was off, the subs were over, you can see how much that goal meant to the whole team, and the relief, I think, just disappeared at that point. 64 minutes in, and it's got to be said, Barlaser and Ramsey, first starts for them, they weren't great in the first half. I think they were getting up to speed with the game. They were a little bit off, but grew into it. I think Ramsey was okay. Barlaser really came into his own in the second half. Great assist. And then it was our game to lose. And Akpom doubled our lead. Not quite from the penalty spot. And to be honest, I don't even think it was a penalty. But the build-up play was absolutely amazing. Great flick from Archer. Akpom, as he does, picking the ball up. Turns, great vision, plays in McGree, who cuts back. And I don't think there's any contact here, barely any. There might have been minimal, but to be fair, the defender, he throws himself at McGree. It's a very rash sliding tackle, and if he had made contact with him, it could have been a nasty tackle. Whether he did or not, I don't know. McGree has obviously improvised and has done well to win us the penalty, albeit very, very soft. But we didn't score the penalty. If there's one weakness that Akpom has, it's his penalties. Archer had hold of the ball for quite a while, and I felt very confident Archer would have put the ball away. Akpom took the ball off him and was wanting his brace, and it was an awful penalty, to be honest with you. Really poor. Just slightly to Dieng's left. Not in the corner, not really struck with any great conviction. And to be fair, Dieng was probably a little at fault for not holding on to this as well. Maybe it was just so close to inside his body, he couldn't palm it away. All he could sort of do was just get his body in the way, and it couldn't help but parry it towards Akpom again. Could he have held on to it? Maybe, but Akpom was at least there. Ready to react straight away to tap in the rebound, put us 2-0 up, and from there on in, you think it's 3-0. It's a 3 points guaranteed, and we were cruising to victory. I was looking at the live table, 4 points the gap. I thought, my word, it's on. We are right behind Sheffield United, and then out of nothing, Elias Chair scores one of the craziest free kicks I have ever seen. And to be fair to him, he's clearly seen what Hannibal did for Birmingham against West Brom a few weeks ago, when he basically tricked the goalkeeper, who was nowhere near his near post, bent it round the wall, caught out, I think it was Button who was in goal, albeit that was from a lot closer, and I think Button reacted very slowly to that. Chair saw that, and this was from maybe 40 plus yards, somehow managed to bend it round the wall. Obviously there won't have been much of a wall from that distance, and caught Stefan out. Now Stefan gets unnecessary stick from Boro fans, and I'm going to quickly put my piece in on Zach Stefan. I think he is an absolute integral part of the team. He's saved us more often than he's made mistakes, and when goalkeepers are playing out from the back like Stefan is, their mistakes are going to be magnified 100 times, as it is with any goalkeeper who makes mistakes. So I think he's integral to how we play. I think his distribution is fantastic. I think he's improving in terms of how he's defending corners and crosses, how he's collecting the ball as opposed to sometimes flapping at it. Still makes me nervous. I think that's because of the goalkeepers Boro have had in the last couple of seasons. Bettinelli, Guzan, I've completely forgotten who we had last year. Lumley, of course. Awful goalkeepers. So obviously, inherently, Boro fans are going to be nervous about their goalkeeper. But Stefan, I think, has been incredible, and he got caught out as near post. I think you've got to just commend Chair for his. I think for the execution. It's very clever. It's a very clever strike. And he was definitely their best player on the pitch. He was the only player of QPR's who I think I was a bit worried. Could have done something, could have opened up something, created something for them. And that on 89 minutes, when the 6 minutes got added on, I thought, oh no, like Boro, don't you dare. We've seen this one before. From absolute cruising, we're going to bottle it and miss out the biggest golden opportunity. And there was a fourth goal, but thankfully it wasn't for QPR. Riley McGree, another player he just isn't getting the credit he deserves from Boro fans. He's absolutely unbelievable. Put the ball in the back of the net after a great break. QPR parliament forward. Lenihan, whether it was a precise pass or a punt up the pitch, played it forward. Crooks, who has been the best super sub, just seems to come on every game and have an impact, whether it's scoring or setting up a goal. Keeps the ball in, crosses it to McGree, who's free at the back post, and he's simply got to pick his spot from about 4 or 5 yards. And that finally allows all Boro fans to sort of, let out a huge sigh of relief. But, in all honesty, it was a deserved win for Boro. I think it would have been an injustice if we'd have lost that game or drew that game or dropped points. We fully deserved to win, and this is where it's left us now. So following Sheffield United's defeat to Millwall, they are now on 61. The gap's down to 4. They still have a game in hand, but 4 points in a game in hand is a lot better than what was 10 points in a game in hand only 5 days ago. So the turnaround in such a short space of time is incredible. And Sheffield United seem like they've been rattled a little bit, I'm not going to lie. Conceding 3 is very unlike them. Obviously, Heckingbottom got sent off in midweek. They just don't seem like they're in a stable position right now, and heading into the run of games that they've got isn't great. I think I mentioned this in my last episode of Project Boro, but their upcoming fixtures are dire, to be fair. Watford at home. The Tottenham game is a tough one and a bit of an inconvenience, to be fair. I think they'll much rather focus on the league, but they've got a home FA Cup tied to Tottenham, which could impact fitness of certain players. They might even get injuries. Ewood Park won't be easy. I'd expect them to beat Reading, but a Tuesday night at Reading's not a guarantee. Then they host the best travellers in the league at the moment in Luton. The Stadium of Light is horrible. We've got West Brom at the weekend, and that's going to be tough. They've got them, followed by Norwich away. So, I mentioned this in my last video. I think come April, the table could look very, very different. And Boro have opened up a fantastic gap. 8 points to 7th. A couple of teams have games in hand on us, but what a great sort of gap we've built ourselves from the teams below us. And we're not even really, I don't think, considering anything but a playoff place. Now, I'd be astounded if we bottled a playoff position from here, and we are very much looking ahead. And I think being the chasers takes the pressure off. And I think we very much. I think Dan Barlas has said after the game when he was interviewed, he'd much rather be the chaser than being chased. So there's no pressure on Boro. We're comfortably in the playoffs. We're looking at a team in front of us who are dropping off, and we're getting closer. There's no pressure on us. We can just look up and try and catch the team in front of us because there's no one remotely close behind. Even if Luton win the game in hand, the gap's still 4 points. So, I think we're in a great place, great form, 5th straight win, and very much on the tails of Sheffield United, who, of course, do play Watford next week. As for us, we've got West Brom at the Hawthorns. Now, this isn't going to be easy. In fact, this is probably going to be just as, if not harder, than the Sheffield United game. I think West Brom are unbeaten in 8 home games. Boro do have a good record at West Brom, but I think under Carlos Corberán, a fantastic coach, very flexible, adaptable coach, he came to the Riverside and schooled us last season with Huddersfield. So I am a bit wary of this one. I'm looking at this one again a bit like Sheffield United and kind of saying, well, let's just come away with something to keep the momentum going. We might drop points, we might draw, Sheffield United could even win, but for me, I just don't want us to lose. Don't lose the momentum, keep picking up something. So I'd take a point from West Brom, but if we turn up and do our thing, of course we can beat them. You know, we've been to Norwich and won, we've been to Norwich and won, Sheffield United and won. I think there was another really big away day where we got big points, can't remember off the top of my head now, but yeah, another winnable game. Quite easily, and we've got a good record there. So yeah, it won't be easy. It'll be tough. I am gonna predict a draw. I think with how many goals we're scoring at the moment, I think we'll get 2. I think West Brom could get 2 as well. So I'll say 2-2. But for me, it's important that Boro just keep picking up something from this game. If we can win, obviously Sheffield United have got Watford. Yeah, the gap could be down to 1 point. Even if we draw and they lose, it's down to 3 points. So yeah, just keep picking up points. I think that's the most important thing for me. And yeah, here's hoping Boro can go to the Hawthorns and pick up 3 points. But that's my thoughts, guys, on the QPR win. Do let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. If you are a Boro fan, let me know what you thought. If you're new, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the like button to support this video. If you want to hear the experts discuss both this the QPR win and the win from midweek, please head over to the Boro Breakdown podcast, a podcast I do creative work for 3 amazing people who, yeah, provide the best podcast, the best analysis. It's honestly a joy to listen to. So go and head over to the Boro Breakdown podcast for much further in-depth, perfect analysis of the Boro game. I don't have my Boro Breakdown hoodie on. I actually have a Juninho themed hoodie on today. But yeah, go head over there to check out more additional Boro themed content. But I'll be back with the next episode of Project Boro after the game against West Brom next weekend. Also, if you're a fan of FIFA and a Boro fan in general, I have just started a Michael Carrick's Middlesbrough career mode on FIFA. A link to that will be in the description or somewhere on the screen, so do check that out if you haven't already. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.